Archangel Michael showed me what they did behind your back, and it changes everything you thought was true. Open immediately. At 2:33 a.m., a secret was exposed in the spirit realm. The hour was not ordinary. It was not random. At exactly 2:33 a.m., the veil thinned between dimensions, and a divine rupture echoed in the spirit realm. The atmosphere trembled, not with noise but with revelation. In that sacred, silent hour, the warrior of heaven, Archangel Michael, descended, not with trumpet nor flame, but with stillness that spoke louder than thunder. He came not for many, but for you. Not for the crowd, but for the called. You were marked to receive this truth. It is not imagination. It is not coincidence. The betrayal you sensed but couldn't explain, the odd behavior, the subtle withdrawal of people you once trusted, all of it was recorded in the unseen. And now, it has reached the court of divine timing. There are conversations that took place without your name present, but with your identity slandered. There are plans being stirred behind closed doors, and yet nothing remains hidden from the eye of the Almighty. Michael came with his sword sheathed, not because he's unprepared, but because heaven is watching your response. You are standing in the middle of a divine test, and your stillness is your sword. This message is not for everyone. No, this is a scroll reserved for those chosen to carry weight in the Spirit, those whom God has hidden, anointed, and now revealing. The betrayal isn't new. The deception isn't recent. But the revelation is now. What they did in secret is already being judged in heaven. Your job is not to retaliate. Your role is to listen, to obey, to remain still. Because in your stillness, heaven speaks. In your silence, justice breathes. You were not meant to discover this on your own. That's why Archangel Michael has appeared. That's why you are here, reading this now. The spiritual realm does not operate in delays, only alignments. And you are being aligned right now. They did it behind your back, but heaven saw. They thought they'd buried it, but God is resurrecting what they tried to kill. This message is your divine confirmation. Your eyes are about to open. The lie will be exposed. The energy will shift. The tables will turn. The mask will fall. But the next move must come from heaven, not from you. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 777 is now activated. Archangel Michael is sounding the alarm right now. This is not imagination. This is not paranoia. This is a summons. A supernatural alarm is ringing, not in your ears, but in your spirit. You have felt it, haven't you? The pressure, the interruption, the feeling that something unseen is moving behind the veil, shifting the weight of your days, shaking the fabric of your relationships. Archangel Michael is not whispering. He is sounding the alarm. And this alarm is not meant to scare you. It is meant to wake you. In the next 48 hours, Michael declares, a truth will confront your peace. And not a gentle truth, not a pleasant one. A truth that cuts like fire through falsehoods. A truth that strips illusion, exposes deception, and repositions you back under divine clarity. What is about to confront you will not be wrapped in comfort. It will be wrapped in clarity. The mask they wore will fall. The loyalty they claimed will be tested. The words they said behind your back will return to your ears in the exact tone they were spoken. This is not random anymore. It's not just spiritual warfare, it's spiritual justice. You are being divinely interrupted. What you thought was stable is about to be shaken, not to destroy you, but to deliver you. not to confuse you, but to confirm you. Heaven is removing the counterfeit so that you may walk in truth. Archangel Michael has stepped forward, not because you begged, but because you are chosen. Your obedience in previous battles has brought you into spiritual proximity with angelic forces. You didn't need to call him. Your name was already echoing in heavenly courts. And when your name was spoken, Michael responded. Because God does not forget the faithful. He does not ignore the cries of the loyal. And he does not abandon those who remain silent when falsely accused. This moment, right here, is your confirmation. You were not crazy for feeling the energy shift. You were not dramatic for sensing betrayal. Attention. It was never just emotional. It was spiritual static, the vibration of a heavenly alarm as Michael moved in on your behalf. You were right to be uneasy. You were right to feel like something was off. Because something was off, and someone was moving behind your back. But now, the divine response has begun. The Spirit says, be still. Remain alert. Do not respond emotionally, for your vindication is not coming from conversation, but from confrontation, spiritual confrontation. This means the battle you are sensing is not in the realm of people, but in the realm of principalities. You are not wrestling with humans. You are not fighting against personalities. You are being targeted by spirits that hate your calling, despise your anointing, and fear your destiny. That is why this message has found you. Because only the spiritually awake, only the anointed watchmen, only the called, only the hidden ones, can decode what is about to unfold. This message is not viral. It is vital. It is not meant for everyone. It is reserved for the few whose steps have been marked by divine hands and whose tears have watered the roots of future glory. Michael's sword is not drawn in vain. He is standing before you, armor burning with glory, declaring, you are not forgotten. You are not defenseless. And you are not deceived any longer. What is being revealed in this hour will break illusions, dismantle false alliances, and remove parasites from your promise. Your assignment is to stay awake. Stay still. Stay consecrated. Because heaven is not finished speaking. The scroll is being unsealed. The names are being read. And the plan of God, even through betrayal, is still on schedule. This is not the end. This is the revelation before the reversal. Something sacred is being activated inside of you. Even now, as these words enter your spirit, they are unlocking codes of discernment, igniting fires of courage, and awakening gifts long buried by disappointment. You are not just being protected, you are being positioned. You are not just being warned, you are being armed. The truth is not your enemy. It is your deliverance. So when the confrontation comes, do not flinch. Do not panic. Heaven has already rehearsed your victory. Archangel Michael has already cleared the path. You are not about to fall. You are about to rise. Type I am anointed in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. Someone you trusted shifted behind your back silently. They moved quietly, not out of innocence but out of intention. The betrayal was not loud and didn't shout. It whispered. It disguised itself in laughter, in check-ins, in casual conversations that made you feel safe. But beneath their surface, something darker stirred. They shifted and you felt it. You didn't see the moment they turned. You didn't hear the words they said. But something in your soul began to flinch when they entered the room. Something holy inside you started to retreat. They smiled, but they never meant well. The moment you began to elevate, their spirit began to resent. You didn't provoke it. You didn't change. You just started shining. You just started aligning. You just started walking in obedience. And that's what made the demonic inside of them uncomfortable with the divine upon you. The strange glances, the passive-aggressive comments, the hesitation in their compliments, those were signs. The way they chained the subject when your name came up. The way they excluded you from plans they used to include you in. Those were clues. Their distance was not random. It was spiritual. Their avoidance of your presence was not circumstantial. It was strategic. The enemy was using them without their full awareness, because your destiny became a threat to their comfort. But now the mask is slipping, and Michael is lifting the veil. You sense the tension, and now the truth is coming into view. What you called vibes were actually vibrations, spiritual signals of disruption, alerts from heaven that something unclean had entered your circle. The unease in your chest, the weight in your sleep, the suspicion in your prayers, those were not paranoia. Those were divine alarms. You were sensing what your eyes could not see, betrayal dressed in friendship, jealousy clothed in support, manipulation masked as mentorship. But heaven is not silent about this. Heaven saw the shift before you even realized there was one. And now, Archangel Michael comes with scrolls in hand, confirming that this disruption is not your downfall, it's your divine filter. Because not everyone can go where God is taking you. Not every connection can survive your next elevation. And so heaven orchestrates a holy dismantling, not to destroy you, but to protect you. What feels like loss is actually alignment. What looks like abandonment is actually advancement. You are not being left behind. You are being lifted out. And even though it hurts, even though the emotional weight feels unbearable at times, you must know this. You are not alone in this shift. A discomfort is the evidence of your evolution. The ache in your chest is a sign that your spirit is purging what your flesh once trusted. That's why it hurts. That's why you cry. Because this isn't just relational. This is prophetic. This isn't just emotional. This is spiritual displacement. When a calling grows, the ground underneath it must shift. And people who once held space in your life can no longer fit within the structure God is now building. So don't mourn what heaven is removing. Don't chase what God is cutting. Don't explain yourself to those who already made the choice to misunderstand you. Your obedience is your only defense. Your alignment is your only assignment. Archangel Michael says, I was there when they plotted. I was there when they twisted truth. I was there when they cloaked envy and kindness. But fear not, for I have stood between their intentions and your destiny. Yes, you've been wounded, but you are not destroyed. You've been disrupted, but you are not defeated. And now the mask falls, and now the illusion breaks, and now the truth comes rushing in like fire. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Don't forget to subscribe. You'll receive early access to new prophetic words, powerful insights, and spiritual tools to navigate your journey. Type I am awakened in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1414 is now covering you. Yes, you've been watched. But not just by jealous eyes or gossiping mouths. There is a realm that sees beyond your gestures, beyond your decisions, beyond your flaws. Spirits, both holy and unholy, have taken note of your movements. Because your destiny is making noise in the unseen. Your name has weight. Your purpose has power. And the warfare you've been feeling lately isn't bad luck. It's spiritual strategy. This isn't misfortune. It's not just life. This is warfare. Targeted, strategic, calculated warfare. The intensity is because your calling has grown loud. The attacks didn't start when you failed. They began when you obeyed. The pressure didn't increase when you slipped. It intensified when you started rising. Because when a soul begins to awaken to its assignment, the enemy dispatches familiar spirits to monitor, disrupt, and delay. You are not just under attack, you are under attention. Demonic forces have studied your patterns. They've tracked your vulnerabilities. They've whispered through others to see what will provoke your reaction. But Archangel Michael wants you to know, I have been watching, too. And heaven's eyes never close. Your tears have not been unnoticed. Your silent endurance has been recorded. Every time you chose integrity over revenge, every time you turned the other cheek, every time you closed your mouth when you had every right to speak, it was witnessed. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. The pain isn't proof of failure, it's proof of importance. You are not randomly targeted, you are divinely marked. The enemy doesn't waste time on people with no power. You've been feeling heaviness, not because you're weak, but because you're dangerous to darkness. And though you feel exhausted, heaven is energized on your behalf. You are not alone in this fight. You are surrounded, protected. Heaven. What hurts now is part of heaven's holy strategy. This betrayal is not an ending. It is a divine ejection of what can no longer serve your growth. Michael sees your purity. He sees the motives of your heart. And while they conspire in shadows, heaven is scripting your public deliverance. That's why it hurts. That's why the warfare is loud. Because the glory coming on your life will be even louder. You are not being attacked because you're broken. You are being attacked because you're becoming. So frame this conflict correctly. You are not hated for who you are resisted because of what you carry. You are glory in human form. You are a vessel of divine disruption. You are a walking prophecy. And hell has taken notice. But Archangel Michael has drawn his sword, and no strategy of darkness, no whisper of witchcraft, no plot of jealousy will prosper against the one heaven has covered. Type I am marked by glory in the comments. Blessing code 888 is now sealed around you. Even now, plans are being formed in silence. Not just spoken, plotted. Their words may not have reached you, but their intentions already echo in the atmosphere. You feel it before it happens. The spiritual realm is unsettled. The air is charged. Because something is approaching you, not to bless but to blind. Not to elevate, but to entangle. And yet, heaven is not alarmed. Archangel Michael is already ahead of it. The sword is drawn. The shield is raised. The scrolls are open. But here is what you must understand. Within 72 hours, the mask will slip. Heaven is releasing a crack in the facade. The one who moved in deception will be exposed, not by confrontation, but by divine orchestration. This is not the hour for you to demand answers. It is the hour for you to discern alignments. The words they spoke behind closed doors are already being rehearsed in the courts of heaven. And soon, you will see the evidence manifest. The Spirit is warning you. Be alert, not afraid. Watch closely. Listen carefully. Discern spiritually. Because the trap is not being set by the hands you expect. It is not the loud ones. It is not the visible opposition. He is the subtle spirit working through those who once called you family, who once cheered for your victories. Those who sat closest are often the ones who turn first. But don't let this break you. Let it build you. This is a test, not a punishment. This is not divine abandonment. This is prophetic strategy. Heaven is allowing the heat to rise, not to destroy your peace, but to purify your position. You must remain anchored. You must not speak too soon. You must not react emotionally. The enemy wants you to respond out of your pain, but God is watching to see if you will respond out of position. Reher does not mean punishment. Reher means promotion. The higher your calling, the greater the testing. And this is the test before your turning. The darkness is growing bold because your breakthrough is coming into full light. The betrayal is getting loud because your assignment is about to be broadcast. And when they act, when they move, when they attempt to undermine you, heaven will act faster. Archangel Michael says, they are planning, but they have underestimated who you are in the spirit. They tied with Ma. They spoke against what was anointed. They will soon realize the one they betrayed was not ordinary. So prepare, not with fear, but with faith. Be still, but be aware. Don't confront. Don't explain. Don't try to fix what heaven is breaking apart. You are being separated for supernatural clarity. You don't need to convince anyone of your truth. Time will testify. Heaven will validate. Michael will defend. There will be a moment, sudden and sharp, where you will hear, see, or sense a shift so undeniable that you will know, this is what the Lord warned me about. Do not chase closure. Do not seek their apology. What they withhold in humility, heaven will release in justice. Let the mask fall. Let the truth come. Your silence is not surrender. It is a setup for supernatural exposure. You are being fortified in this fire. And soon, the very people who thought they could move against you undetected will witness the hand of God intervene. You will not need to fight this. You only need to stay positioned. Type I will not be moved in the comments if you receive this warning. Blessing code 999 is now shielding you. Silence is not weakness. Silence is warfare. In the kingdom realm, silence is not passive. It is prophetic. Archangel Michael is commanding stillness over your soul, because every reaction right now has weight. Every word spoken in haste is a door the enemy can exploit. And heaven is whispering, stand down. I'm standing guard. Let this be your sacred instruction. Do nothing. Do not explain. Do not retaliate. Do not defend yourself in conversations not assigned to you. Because when heaven fights, heaven silences every voice that tried to rewrite your truth. Right now, your silence is unlocking codes of divine defense. Your restraint is rewriting what was spoken. You are not being passive. You are partnering with the angels. You are not ignoring the betrayal. You are interrupting its influence. When you refuse to react, you deactivate the trap. When you remain still, you shift the authority of the moment from flesh to faith. And the realm of faith is where angels begin to move. Michael is encircling you. Yes, you. Not because you're perfect, but because you're positioned. He stands not only with a sword, but with scrolls. He reads the story written about you in the archives of glory, and your chapter is far from over. In fact, what looked like an ending is a heavenly reset. Let heaven whisper the next step. Don't ray the moment. Don't run to fix what God is severing. This is not abandonment. This is divine refinement. What you lose now was a leech. What departs now was a delay. Your silence is echoing louder in the courts of heaven than any justification ever could. And Michael is moving, swiftly, violently, surgically, to guard the chosen. You are not fragile. You are fortified. And silence is your secret weapon. The enemy does not know how to navigate a believer who will react. When you remain quiet, they lose control. When you trust the divine process, you rise above the earthly attack. So protect your peace like it's prophecy, because it is. Your rest is sacred. Your calm is holy. Yard it. Don't text back. Don't call them. Don't seek validation from those who have shown you their truth. Trust that the one who revealed it will redeem it. You're not in delay. You're in divine preservation. Michael says again, stand down. I am standing guard. Let that ring in your spirit. Let that guide every move. The angels are not idle. They are not confused. They are surrounding you, wings drawn, flames lit, prepared to respond if even a hair on your destiny is touched. Remain still. Remain sacred. And trust that what heaven guards, hell cannot grasp. Type I trust heaven's strategy in the comments. Blessing code 1441 is now flowing around your life. There is a holy transformation unfolding within you. A shedding. A release. A rebirth. You've been hidden in seasons that felt like silence. You've been overlooked in places where you poured out. You've been surrounded by people who only saw your surface but never discerned your calling. But now the shift has begun. What they did to you behind closed doors did not break you. It built you. The betrayal didn't bury you. It birthed you. You are not the same person who entered this storm. You do not cry the same way. You do not respond the same way. The tears that once broke you are now watering your eyes. The silence that once suffocated you is now the womb where your power has been developing. You have been forged in pain. You have been tempered in fire. What they meant for harm, God has used as hammer and chisel, shaping your spirit, refining your discernment, fortifying your heart. The wound became a weapon. The heartbreak became the altar where your new self was born. They thought they were breaking your trust, but God was breaking your limits. They thought they were cutting you out, but God was cutting you loose. You are not who you were. You have grown wings in the dark. You have developed vision in the valley. You've gained weight in the waiting. Heaven didn't forget you. Heaven concealed you. Because what is holy must first be hidden. What is chosen must first be covered. You were not being delayed. You were being preserved. The betrayal wasn't your end. It was the end of the version of you that could be manipulated, deceived, or contained. The Archangel Michael stands now, not just as your defender, but as your witness. Witness to your growth. Witness to your endurance. Witness to the holy metamorphosis that turned your mourning into muscle. You are not walking out of this wounded. You are walking out anointed. They won't recognize you, and that's the point. Heaven didn't raise you in silence for validation. Heaven raised you in silence for dominion. Your wings are not ornamental. They are territorial. You were made to ascend. And what you are rising into, no demon in hell and no lie on earth can hinder. This is the shift, from victim to vessel, from wounded to weaponized, from broken to blazing. You do not rise for revenge. You rise to reign. You do not elevate to prove them wrong. You elevate to prove God right. Your story is the sermon. Your scars are the strolls. What you carry now is not just pain. It is prophecy. So embrace this emergence, this holy uprising. Archangel Michael is not just standing, he's announcing. Heaven is no longer hiding you. Your wings are not for decor, they are for deployment. Where you are going, loyalty cannot be forced, and deception cannot be tolerated. You have graduated in the spirit. You are unrecognizable to those who only knew your struggle. You are not alone in this flight. Heaven is surrounding you. Your next chapter begins, not with another apology, but with authority. Your oil is costly. Your elevation is sacred. You have passed the test. You had endured the pressure. Now you rise. Type "I am arising" in the comments. Blessing code 1777 is now fueling your spirit. Let this pierce deep into your spirit. You did not fail. You were filtered. What looked like a loss, what felt like rejection, what came wrapped in betrayal was actually divine removal. Not because you were not worthy, but because the people around you were not worthy of the next glory coming on your life. Archangel Michael stands in the spirit realm, scroll in hand, voice thunderous with clarity. This was your unlocking moment. The pain, the confusion, the sudden shift, it was all timed. Heaven was watching. Every tear was tracked. Every silence was sacred. You were not forgotten. You were being prepared for a gate in the spirit that could only be accessed alone. You were too loyal to the wrong presence, too attached to people who had no capacity for your promise. Your heart was full, but their character was empty. You extended grace to those who weaponized your goodness. You gave love to those who only intended to take. But heaven intervened, and what they meant to wound you with, God used to filter your foundation. Now, the filter has fallen. The lines have been drawn. And what remains in your life now, the people, the connections, the revelations, is pure. You are no longer building in mixed soil, no longer watering weeds while calling them flowers. Heaven has removed the counterfeit, and all that remains is what is consecrated. This betrayal, this exposure, this spiritual earthquake, it shook you, yes, but it also shook loose the things that would have sabotaged your future. This wasn't punishment. It was protection. Heaven allowed the mask to fall now so you wouldn't be tied to it later. This wasn't just about your now. It was about your next. And your next is weighty. Archangel Michael shows you now. Your name is being whispered in angelic ranks. The ones who once overlooked you are now watching you ascend. The ones who questioned your oil are about to witness your overflow. You are stepping into conversations heaven had long before you knew there was a war. You are moving into spaces where the betrayal becomes your testimony, and the pain becomes your platform. What they stole is being returned. What they delayed is being accelerated. What they corrupted is being restored. Your name was not just written, it was etched in heavenly scrolls. And now the angels know it. Now the enemy fears it. And now you must declare it. If this revelation resonates with you and you feel led to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of $10. Your generosity helps us deliver more anointed, high-impact content like this. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the Support Here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And don't forget to subscribe. You'll gain access to new prophetic insights, early content releases, and ongoing spiritual empowerment to help you navigate every divine season. This is not just exposure. This is elevation. What was meant to limit you is now launching you. What was meant to silence you is now singing your name in heaven. Type "I am unlocked" in the comments. Blessing code 2020 is now activated. The moment you declare those words, something begins to shift in the spiritual atmosphere. Not because they are magical, but because they are agreement. Heaven is waiting for your voice. Angels move when obedience speaks. And right now, in this holy moment of revelation and recalibration, the realm of destiny is opening its gates before you. This is not a metaphor. This is not poetic hope, but this is prophetic alignment. You are being positioned. You are being summoned. You are being activated. Your destiny hath been waiting, not for opportunity, but for obedience. Not for a door to open, but for your voice to respond. God has not forgotten the blueprint over your life. He has not abandoned the scroll written in glory before your first breath was even drawn. But the next chapter does not begin with favor. It begins with faith. It begins with a declaration that slices through doubt, silence, and fear. I rise. I reclaim. I realign. You are not meant to live in the residue of betrayal. You are not called to carry the weight of wounds that were sent to delay your destiny. No, you are called to rise. And to rise means you must reclaim what was lost, not through bitterness, not through revenge, but through the power of your yes. Reclaim your vision. Reclaim your purpose. Reclaim your identity. For too long, you have allowed pain to narrate your next move. But now, heaven says, take back the pen. There is a mantle hovering over you, custom-made, intricately stitched with your spiritual DNA. But it will not descend upon a wounded soul who still rehearses the offense. It will only fall upon one who chooses to release the bitterness and embrace the burden of glory. Your mantle does not come to comfort your trauma. It comes to commission your triumph. You must now speak what heaven has already written. The moment you speak in alignment with heaven's truth, you are unlocking doors that no man can shut. Your words are not casual. They are keys. What you speak now is writing your supernatural story. Every declaration becomes a decree in the unseen. And when you declare, I rise, the pit releases its grip. When you say, I reclaim, the devourer loses legal ground. And when you say, I realign, every delay is transformed into divine acceleration. This isn't about chasing down every injustice. This is about choosing your identity in Christ. You are not a victim. You are a vessel. You are not abandoned. You are appointed. You are not forgotten. You are favored. And now heaven is waiting, not on them to apologize, not on them to recognize your value, but on you to stand in your divine authority. Heaven is poised. Angels are attentive. The scroll of your next season has been unfurled, but it cannot be read aloud until you speak first. Your voice is the password. Your yes is the permission. And your boldness is the final signature that seals this activation. So rise, not with anger. Rise with authority. Proclaim, not through fists but through faith. Realign, not through pride, but through posture. Heaven is already responding. Type I rise in power in the comments. Blessing code 1818 is now launched upon your life. There is a dimension beyond the visible where real decisions are made, where battles are not fought with weapons of man, but with words of power and scrolls of truth. And in that sacred realm, something unspeakable has been taking place, an exchange, a holy trade, a divine transaction. While they gossiped and whispered behind your back, angels were standing before the throne, speaking on your behalf. You never saw it. You didn't hear it. But in the midnight hour, when your soul was too weary to pray and your heart too broken to speak, heaven spoke for you. The whispers of betrayal may have reached earthly ears, but the groans of your spirit reached heavenly altars, and that altar began to answer. Archangel Michael stood not just as your protector, but as your intercessor. While lies were spun and plots were planned, he stood holding a scroll with your name engraved in gold. And on that scroll were the prayers you forgot you prayed, the vows you made in tears, the seeds you sowed in silence, and heaven counted them all. Heaven weighed them all. Heaven declared, "This one is not forgotten." There is a holy record of your endurance. And now, what was taken is being returned, with interest. Your name is not tainted in the spirit. Your value is not decreased in the kingdom. The angels are not confused about who you are. And in this realm where truth cannot be hidden, justice has begun to move. Michael stood with scrolls. Your name was there. Not a ruer. Not an accusation. A name marked by heaven's glory. A name sealed by obedience. A name that cannot be erased by human rejection. In the realm of eternity, your identity was never altered. And now, that truth is being released into the earth. You will feel it. You will see it. The reversal is already moving. You wept, but heaven transcribed your tears into power. Not one tear hath been wasted. Not one sleepless night has gone unrecorded. God has gathered them all in his bottle. And now those tears are being poured out, not as grief, but as glory. You are restless because your destiny is rearranging. Your discomfort is not a warning of collapse. It is a sign of construction. Heaven is rebuilding something bigger than before. In this silent exchange, you are receiving keys. Keys to gates that were once locked. Keys to realms you didn't know you were ready for. Keys to a new level of discernment, authority, and anointing. And as the enemy scrambles to understand how you're still rising, heaven is already unveiling what's next. This is the sacred moment where the unseen becomes reality, where silence is louder than speech, where divine whispers shake kingdoms. What was planned against you is powerless now, because it was answered in a higher realm. This is not just restoration. This is recompense. Type "My destiny is secure" in the comments. Blessing code 1999 has now entered your atmosphere. Justice is not delayed. It is divine. It does not always strike in the hour we demand it. It does not always roar when we cry. But when it moves suddenly, swiftly, irrefutably. Archangel Michael stands now, eyes aflame, voice thundering across the heavens. The scales are shifting. Heaven is balancing it all. Every lie spoken, every manipulation crafted, every secret meeting, every false alliance, all of it has been measured. Not one detail hath been missed by heaven. And now, justice is not creeping in slowly. It is reversing violently. Like floodwaters breaking a dam, the force of heaven's judgment is rushing toward every hidden offense made against you. But not to destroy you, to deliver you. They plotted for your humiliation, but now they'll witness your promotion. They whispered behind closed doors, but now heaven is speaking in open gates. They thought the delay meant they got away with it, but heaven does not forget. Michael does not sleep, and God never fails. The hand of divine justice is not soft, it is surgical, and it is now descending upon every atmosphere where your name was desecrated. What was stolen is being returned, not just in measure, but in multiplied recompense. What was said is being silenced not by debate but by demonstration. What was hidden is being exposed, not through gossip, but through the glory of reversal. You do not have to defend yourself. Heaven is making the statement for you. Michael decrees, your name was cast down by men, but lifted by heaven. They broke covenant, but I kept covering. They tried to bury the truth, but I am unearthing it now. And so the reversal has begun, not because you fought for it, but because you remained faithful. You were tempted to speak, tempted to retaliate, tempted to clear your name. But instead, you chose silence, and silence with the courtroom that gave heaven full jurisdiction. Because when you gave up your right to vindicate yourself, God took up the right to rule on your behalf. And now the evidence is in. The testimony has been sealed. The gavel has struck. Divine justice is not coming. It is already here. Watch what happens in the coming days. What seemed settled will be unsettled. What was confident will be shaken. What was planted in wickedness will now reap its harvest in public. This is not your vengeance. This is God's verdict. And the verdict is this: you were never forgotten. You were never forsaken. You were always favored. Let your heart rest now. No more striving. No more explaining. No more anxiety over what was done in darkness. You are not just walking in restoration. You are walking in divine reversal. And when heaven reverses, nothing can stand in its path. If this message is speaking directly to your spirit and you want to help us keep spreading divine revelation, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of $5. Your support empowers us to continue bringing high-impact prophetic insight to those who need it most. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the Support Here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Don't forget to subscribe to receive more divine alerts, spiritual insight, and prophetic revelation as they are released. Type "I receive divine justice" in the comments. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you with holy fire. Hear this now. You are not just covered. You are crowned. You are not just preserved. You are promoted. Heaven has issued its final decree. The oil on your life is unstoppable. The anointing on your name is irreversible. You are rising, and nothing, no plot, no lie, no delay, can detour the divine plan set in motion. You are sealed, not by man's affirmation, not by earthly promotion, but by heaven's hand. The Spirit of the Lord says, I have inscribed your name in my book. I have wrapped you in my glory. I have hidden you beneath my wing. You are no longer walking in confusion. You are walking in confirmation. This message didn't come to entertain you. It came to awaken you. This was not a coincidence. This was a divine summons. What they did behind your back has been revealed. And now, the blessing that was delayed is being delivered. Your name has not been lost. It has been lifted. Your voice has not been ignored. It has been amplified. This season will not end in loss. It will end in legacy. Rise now, chosen one. Not in fear, not in shame, but in spiritual authority. Walk forward. Take your position. Heaven is backing you. Michael is guarding you. The Father is speaking over you. Well done, my faithful one. You did not fall for the trap. You did not bow to offense. You held the line. And now step into your reward. No weapon formed will prosper, not even their lies. No plot will prevail. No curse can land. You are too covered, too anointed, too appointed. And from this moment forward, walk like you know you are called. Speak like you know you are sealed. Move like you know you are chosen. Because you are. This isn't the end. This is the rebirth. This is where the warfare ends and the glory begins. This is where heaven's yes drowns out every earthly no. Let the heavens rejoice, for you have passed the test. You are crowned. You are covered. You are called. Now walk forward. Type I am chosen and called in the comments. Blessing code 5555 is now marking your steps from this moment forward.